What's good, people? It's your content guy, Breeze here. First off, I want to thank you for coming over and checking out the channel. What we do here is we highlight the channels that are next to blow on YouTube. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Next up on the roster, we have McKenna Walker. This one right here is for the ladies. The content on the channel is lifestyle content where she allows us to follow her on her daily journey throughout her life. In her latest upload, she starts the video off by updating us on what her and her beautician decided to do with her hair on her last visit. Then she takes us on a gym trip with her educating us on how to get a good workout without having a personal trainer. She also updates us on the transformations going on in the backyard since they built the pool. Later, she tells us how to spice up a Chick-fil-A kale salad by adding certain sauces. She also tells us she doesn't buy her kids toys anymore. Instead, she buys gloves and plants for the kids because they don't play with their toys anymore. She says she's going to see if they can keep their plants from dying. I think this is a great idea that we can implement with our own children because it allows the kids to play and learn at the same time, and it promotes friendly competition between the kids. She also tells us how essential rain boots are for small children. And later in the video, she shows us how she sets up her home office. In another video, she shows what 24 hours with a newborn consists of, from pumping breast milk to storing the milk, to her letting us know how postpartum is affecting her appetite. This video is strictly for the mothers. It's very informative, especially if you're a new mom or a soon-to-be mom. In another video, she breaks down how her self-care has changed while being 9 months pregnant and how she deals with morning sickness at this point during her pregnancy. So y'all go check out the great content that McKenna Walker is producing. Next up on the roster, we have Crime Site. The content on the channel centers around this segment entitled The Final 24 Hours, where they give a detailed account on what transpired during the final hours of life for some of America's notorious criminals. In one video, they reveal what Ted Bundy's final 24 hours consisted of. Crime Site informs us that Bundy and his team were still putting on a merciless fight even though it was late in the game, with them putting in petitions and appeals on the state level and federal level at 8 a.m. this morning. His team argued he wasn't competent enough to be executed, hoping this would buy him time. But by 12 p.m., these hopes were shattered when the final appeal was denied. Around 1 p.m., Bundy was granted his final visit from his mother. The visit was brief, but very hard for Louise Bundy, as she was seen leaving the precinct in tears. By 3 p.m., Bundy decided to meet with his spiritual advisor, perhaps in an effort to seek forgiveness before his impending death. Around 5 p.m., Bundy had his final public interview, where he blamed porn addiction for his murderous ways. He expressed remorse for his actions during the interview, but this was met with skepticism because of Bundy's manipulative personality. After the interview, Bundy was served his last meal. Instead of an elaborate meal, Bundy chose the standard last meal, which included steak, eggs, toast, milk, and juice, which he barely touched. Around 8 p.m., the fear of death seemed to be weighing on Bundy. He met with the prison chaplain and his lawyer one final time. Bundy, the man who claimed to be the most cold-hearted person you ever could meet, was reeling in defeat, with his lawyer describing him as being in a state of near panic and his bravado crumbling. Later that night, Bundy tried his best to put on a strong face for the onlookers as his walk to the execution chamber approached, but it was a failed attempt, as many people described him as nervous and scared during the final hours. In another video, Crime Site covers the final 24 hours of Whitey Bulger's life, with them posing an interesting question at the end of the video. The question is, did Bulger get what he deserved that day, or was it a cowardly act done to an 89-year-old man? Crime Site also covers the final 24 hours of John Wayne Gacy's life. They discuss how Gacy's execution didn't go as smooth as planned, and they let us know what his last words were. So y'all go check out the interesting content being produced over at Crime Site. Next on the roster, we have Purpose Driven. The content on the channel is motivational content, with Malik's focus being on motivating men to stay on their purpose. In one video, Malik encourages men to focus on themselves. He states that we as men can ask a job, how can we serve them? And how can we be better at our job for them? But in turn, we never ask ourselves that question. We never ask, how can we better serve ourselves? He states that by us never asking this question, it leads to us doing a disservice to ourselves. Also, he states that one of the most important relationships that you have have is the relationship you have with yourself. And if you don't have a strong relationship with yourself, it's very easy for people to take advantage of you. He also wants men to understand that it's okay to focus on yourself and that you shouldn't feel bad for doing so. In another video, he breaks down the 8 habits men learn too late, with self-discipline being one of these habits. He states we can't expect to get all out of life when you didn't put all in life. Also, we have to realize that there are no shortcuts on the journey, and that when you take the road less traveled, the results at the end are much sweeter. Another habit is being a leader and not a follower. It's okay to be inspired by people, but make your own decisions. Take back your power and realize that those people who try to dictate your life have already had their life. Investing in yourself and being decisive are also habits on the list. Malik cautions men on being just consumers and encourages us to be more producers and to do things that add value to your life. When it comes to being decisive, he encourages us to adapt the 3-step process where we assess, decide, then act. The worst thing that can happen is it doesn't work. So y'all go holler at Malik over at Purpose Driven and appreciate the great content he's putting out. All right, guys, if you like the content, I want you to like and subscribe. And if you can think of a channel that you think should have made the roster, leave it down in the comment section. Peace.